Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Duels with our Grixis Brain in the Jar revisited. So, let's get into the game, shall we? I'll see you there. Alright, we're in. We're on the draw. We can only really nag in thoughts, so I'm actually going to throw this back. We have Brain in the Jar. We have two of our colours, which allows us to Galvanic Bombardment and Radiant Flames in the future. We can set up our Brain in the Jar going as well. So, yep, let's keep this as good as it gets. We are also on the draw as well, so we could hit that third colour. Or maybe even some more self-mill. That would be sweet. We hit a Disperse. Okay. Well, if this is a sort of mill deck, then that comes in very handy. I'm just going to play our blue and pass the turn. I apologise in advance if I'm a little croaky. I've got a bit of a sore throat coming on, so it ain't good. Yeah, this looks like a mill deck. Okay. So we get Sulphur Falls. Let's go for Brain in the Jar. We want to get to our Rise from the Tides pretty quickly. So we're going to use a lot of our stuff along the way, trying to get that going. So next turn we can Brain in the Jar, put a counter on, and Galvanic Bombardment with our red source if we get another one. Oh, we might as well just cast it anyway. Come on. With Brain in the Jar as well, this is a cool little feature. Galvanic Bombardment is, in theory, a colourless card. I think I'm actually going to take Inventory, I think. Or is Nagging Thoughts just strictly better? He's definitely mill because he's playing Sanitarium now. So, I think we want to make sure we hit lands. I'm going to take Inventory first. Oh, missed. That's actually a bad card as well. He's going to Sanitarium, which helps us out. And we hit Swamp. Wonderful. Let us drop the Possessed Scab. I don't think we need it. We are likely just going to Rise from the Tides for the win. At some point. So, the last time we played against Mill on the channel with Brain in the Jar deck, it actually helped us. Ooh, we could Drown Catacomb. I think we'll do that. He's setting up for a Sanitarium here, I can tell. So, I'm actually going to pass the turn. We'll leave one mana open for the Brain in the Jar. The other to Madness off our Nagging Thoughts. Thank you very much, sir. Madness. Doesn't save us any mana, but it means we're not discarding something we actually want. That's a Galvanic Bombardment. Okay. Yep, that looks about right. And we hit Fumarole and a Radiant Flames. I'll take the Fumarole. Drop the board wipe. He's not going to play many board wipes, I don't think. And we will drop... I'll keep one in hand just in case. I don't think we'll need a pour over the pages. I think we'll have our hand fairly stocked for the most part. He's just going to Sanitarium again. That's fine. I think I'll actually drop the Fumarole this time since it's tap land. It's not doing us many favours. And if he ends his turn, we are going to put a charge counter. No, 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 no. You son of a bitch game. Damn you. Damn you all to hell. Stick a bloody menu screen up in my face. Why don't you? We're going to hold on to the Drownyard Temple. That allows us to discard it with the Sanitarium and ramp up a little bit as well. So our opponent's doing us a lot of favours at the moment. He is mana screwed though. He hasn't played a land in quite some time. Yeah, he's playing like Dragonders and he's getting rid of all his creature removal, which is nice. Thermal Alchemist is pretty sweet. We are going to put a charge counter on Brain in the Jar. Yes. Actually, we won't cast Galvanic Bombardment because we can't use it. And we get to take Inventory. So I'll play Swamp. Take Inventory allows us to... How many sorceries have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4 right now. We'll have 5 with the take inventory. And we can even drop some stuff as well. Could disperse his Thermo Alchemist like right now with the charge counter. Stick a charge counter on it, say yes, and disperse the Thermo Alchemist. Let's make him spend his entire turn doing that again. I think we're fairly sorted on the brain in the jar. I don't think he's got any artifact removal really. So I think we should be fine. He could bounce it back to our hand. He's picking drag unders instead of disperses, which I find very odd. Bedlam Reveler. Interesting. So discard his entire hand. Looks like a lot of burn. So yeah, he's doing us a favour there. Doing himself a favour, so should I say. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got 12 damage worth on the Rise from the Tides at the moment. I think we can do much better. Though maybe we want to take advantage of the fact that he's not playing anything. We have a Possessed Scab. We could pour over the pages perhaps. With the extra mana. I think we want to do something like that. Possessed Scab. We had to leave up a trigger for our Brain in the Jar and also Galvanic Bombardment should we need it. So I'll pick Pour over the pages. Yonk. And pass the turn. So yeah, we get to cast any 3-drop for 1 mana this turn, though we don't want to because we don't want to cast Radiant Flames with Brain in the Jar. Not a good thing. Is this really a mill deck, or is this like a Thermal Alchemist build? This kind of looks like a burn bounce build. Which is fair enough. We are not going to block. Don't see a reason to. We are going to tick up our Brain in the Jar though. Add a counter. Do not do anything. I think Brain in the Jar is still bugged as well, by the way, guys. So even if you don't want to cast a spell with Brain in the Jar, be sure to say yes and then just finish without selecting anything. So we'll drop our Drownyard Temple. Does allow us to ramp up a little bit. She's sweet. I think we've just got our opponent here. There's a Rise from the Tides, so we could put out a tester Rise from the Tides if we chose to do so. Maybe we should actually. How many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 damage worth on Rise from the Tides. Might as well. We've got an extra. Boosh. And swing in with the Possessed Scab, because our opponent is not going to kill us on combat damage, so why should I block? There is no threat here. So we can tick up Brain in the Jar to 4. We don't have a 4-drop to play. Though, yeah, we only have Galvanic Bombardment for 2 as well, which is unfortunate. If our opponent's Sanitariums, they're kind of helping us out a little bit. I will happily drop creatures into the bin. Are we going to see a Radiant Flames here? I'm perfectly fine seeing one since we do have a backup Rise from the Tides. Grip of the Royal. Tap a creature. It does not untap. Okay. Our opponent seems to be grasping a little bit here. Which is good for us. He is going to Sanitarium. Okay. We get a land. I'm actually just going to drop the Bombardment. 2 damage burn spell isn't really great when he's got a 3 toughness and a 4 toughness on the board. And he's going to pass the turn. We are going to tick up our jar. Say yes, do nothing. Ooh, take inventory. Well, Sulphur Falls. And take inventory. Let's fill up our hand a little bit. Bombardment for 3. Okay, we'll bombard the Bedlam Reveler when it blocks one of our creatures. We do have a Drownyard Temple in the bin to use as well. So let's get in for some damage. And see what he does. Yep, he's gonna block. Okay. So he's down to 2. You can actually Geist Blast it for more, to be more efficient. You don't have a 0 drop. I can tell you that for free. So we will put a charge counter on Brain in the jar. Goes up to 5. Which allows us to pour over the pages, untap some mana, which will then allow us to play our Drownyard Temple. You're not, yeah, I'm gonna say you're not letting me untap more, are you? And we will discard another Geist Blast, I think. Cool. Next turn we can instant speed out another Rise from the Tides, which is pretty sweet. We'll just drop the other Fumarole. Don't need it. So even if our opponent has a board wipe here, he's still pretty screwed. What's he got for us? Nothing like a refreshing cup of tea for a sore throat. He's gonna ping us for 1. He's gonna Collective Defiance, probably pinging one of our creatures. Probably discarding his hand to try and get a better thing, and pinging us for 3. That would be my assumption. Yeah, he's making us discard. Do I want a Nagging Thoughts? No, because I want to play my Drownyard Temple. We don't have Rise from the Tides anymore, which is a bit of a shame. So he has got us there, but we can still set it up quite easily. Makes our next Rise from the Tides absolutely brutal. So we will ramp. Get a Disperse. We'll play our Drownyard Catacomb. We'll piece of the puzzle looking for our Rise from the Tides. We only need 1 mana to cast it. We get a part the Water Veil, which is pretty sweet. And he's going to leave. We are going to continue playing that. Which one of these do we want? Collective Defiance, probably. And we can part the Water Veil with our Brain in the jar. And then we're just 1 mana short. Oh no, we're not 1 mana short. Hang on. Put a charge counter on Brain in the jar. The Alchemist is going to ping us down to 10. He's getting us close. He's getting us close. But we are going to part the Water Veil. We are going to copy it with Geist Blast. And then we're going to pause. And we're going to copy it with Geist Blast. We are going to take 3 extra turns after this one. Our opponent is completely tapped out of coloured mana and creatures. So we've got 3 turns in which to kill him. And we're just going to swing for 8 right now. So I don't know what our opponent can really do, since we literally have the lethal amount of burn in our hand as well. So just a little wondering. What would our Rise from the Tides be now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 2/2s we'd get if we found the Rise from the Tides. Let me see if I can find it just before we finish him. It's an AI, so I don't feel too bad. We don't find it. Okay, we do another piece of the puzzle though, to try find it again. And then I'll finish him. We do find it. Cool. Oh, we're actually low on mana. No. Alright, we'll just kill him. Alright, guys. I will see you in the next game. Hurrah, we're down to 4 cards. Oh my god. Alright, we're in. We're on the play. Our hand's just a little too expensive, so we're going to throw it back. We have a lot of disperses. We have some self-mill and some burn. This looks about right. Can't see this being a better keep. Shall we Fumarole or Evolving Wilds? Do I want to draw a land next turn? Not really. So I think Evolving Wilds to reduce the odds of that happening. We have blue and red, so I might as well go find our swamp with the Evolving Wilds. So we've got all three colours set up now for a Radiant Flame, should we need it. Our opponent, by the way, is rank 28, called Marvin. Okay. What is Marvin playing? Black as well. Sanitarium Skeleton. So this could either be Delirium or it could be Sacrifice deck, potentially. We're just going to throw down the Wandering Fumarole and pass the turn. Next turn we get to pieces of the puzzle to set up our hand a little bit. We can Geist Blast anything we want at any point, but there's really no point doing the Sanitarium Skeleton since he can bounce it back to his hand whenever he wants for as much value as he wants. So yeah, it looks like he's black-red, so stands to reason we don't want to put any creatures out there because he could steal them from us and attack them with us, but it's a good job we only have 2 creatures, isn't it? So let's pieces the puzzle. Top 5 cards of our library, let's see what we find. We are looking for our combo pieces. We do not find them. We do get a Languish and take Inventory or Galvanic Bombardment. I think take Inventory because we still want to find our land drops and a lot of our self-mill doesn't allow us to find it. Okay. Our opponent is apparently having a little peek in our graveyard. Or the game's frozen, one or the other. I don't know. Seems like it might have frozen. Oh, there we are. Syncing up. Right, let's pass the turn over. Tap. Spacebar. Tap. We've got a bit of lag. Okay, apparently our opponent's been replaced by the AI, but I'm in a bit of a rush, so I can't really afford to start lobbying up. So our opponent's going to get in for an extra damage. Okay. And a Nantu Kosk, so yeah, this is a sacrifice deck. Cool. We hit Drownyard Catacomb, which is exactly what we wanted to find. Sweet. Right, let's take inventory. Let's fill our hand up a little bit. It's just a cycle though, I think, since we only have one. We found all the disperses in our deck. Interesting. Let us... If we Galvanic Bombardment the Husk, he'll just sacrifice his skeleton. Which isn't the worst thing in the world, but... I think we probably want to provide a lethal threat to his Husk and then bounce it so that he's sacrificed all of his stuff to keep it safe. Bloodflow Connoisseur, that one I will Galvanic Bombardment though. Because as I mentioned, that one will definitely... Yeah, there we are. He's going to sack it to the Husk. Cool. We have our double black now, so we can wipe the board whenever we feel like. Though we have to set it up in such a way where the Husk can't just sacrifice its way out of lethal. We're at 12 now. And we hit our Rise from the Tides, which we are 1 mana short of casting. 1, 2, 3, 4 instants and sorceries right now. Only 4. We can Geist Blast the Husk, forcing him to sacrifice the skeleton. We'll do that on his combat step though, so that we can disperse it shortly after, because he might want to sack a different creature perhaps. We'll be able to wipe the board with him that way. These disperses are just great against the Nantukos, because if he even threatens us with lethal, we just disperse it away. And he'll have sacked half his board to get it there. Carrier Thrall, okay. For example. That's one thing that he can sack away. If we just disperse, he's got no reason to sack anything, so we don't get any value out of that. He's doing it now. Sweet. Go on, keep sacking. Sack the Scion as well. Love you forever if you do that. No, he's just gonna get in. Okay. Well, we're gonna disperse it away. He's tapped out his black mana, so he can't recast it this turn as well, so we get a turn off of the Nantuko Husk attack. So we'll just do that. Skadoosh. I'll take the one. I'm not so fussed about that. Come on, land. That is a land. It comes in tapped, but it does allow us to empty our hand of sorceries in an instance, which will mean our Rise from the Tides will be quite brutal next turn. Because we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the potential to cast 6, 7, essentially. Don't think we want to languish the board away. I think we just want to bounce them back to his hand. But yeah, with 7 instants and sorcery in our graveyard, Rise from the Tides is 14 damage worth of zombies. Even if he blows them all away, he's wiping his own board as well. Okay. What's he got for us? Still got 2 red mana open and things to do apparently. He's just going to get in for some damage, so we're just going to Geist Blast the Sanitarium Skeleton and then disperse the Husk when he goes to sack it. No, he doesn't. Alright. I'm just going to disperse away the token then. Interesting. Suppose it doesn't really matter, to be honest. That might be why. Alright, we get another Rise from the Tides. Is there any way you could kill us next turn? You can steal one of our creatures, sack it to go up to 4. No, I don't think he has the mana to finish us off from that point on. So let's just Rise from the Tides. Get a semi-lethal amount of zombies. And see what he can do. If he wipes the board, we've got a backup Rise. Bloodflow Connoisseur. Well, that's tapped him out of stealing our creatures. Which is interesting. We have a Disperse for one if he tries to keep one alive as well. With the sacrifice. Act of Treason, there we go. He's going to gain control of one of our zombies. Going to get in for 4. Going to get in for 2. Alright. And then he should sack it at the end of turn. There we are. So now he has 2 2/2s. Part the Water Veil. Interesting. So if we... because he's tapped out now, so we can play around with him a little bit. If we part the Water Veil now, we attack in, we do 8 damage, wipe his board. Then we do 8 more damage on the next attack. It's still not enough to kill him, but it's pretty damn close. So yeah, let's attack in first. See what he does. Expect maybe a possible double block here. Or a double block and a sacrifice to keep one alive. That is exactly what's going to happen, so we're going to disperse it back to the hand. We keep our zombies alive. And we're going to pass the turn over. If he's got a board wipe, he stays alive. If he doesn't, I'm not sure he can come back from this because we get to part the water veil next turn for a double attack. Liliana. Alright, that... Does that save him? I think that just about keeps him alive. Alright. Because he's going to gain 4 on our attacks. And if we part the water veil. So we attack in. We deal 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 damage. Technically 8 because he's going to gain life. And then we attack in again. I think we should be fine. Yeah, part the water veil. No extra costs paid. Swing in. Savage Alliance. Which mode's he picking? I don't know. He's going to blow up one of our creatures, I think. Creatures target player controls gain trample until the end of the turn. What an odd little thing to choose. He could kill one of our creatures. Sometimes this AI confuses me. Alright, and then we swing in for lethal. He's still tapped out, so there's nothing he can do. Goes up to 4, loses 8. Alright guys, that is going to do it for today's episode. I apologise that I couldn't get a proper opponent for the last turn. As I mentioned, I'm in a little bit of a rush today because I've got like 5 videos to put out in 12 hours, which is really, it's borderlining impossible, but there you go. We're going to try do it. So, yeah, and I've got a bit of a sore throat as well, so I don't want to talk too much. Alright guys, so if you've enjoyed the content, then be sure to leave a like. It helps me out a great deal. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do so. It helps me out even more. But if you're not quite sure, stay for the end card, see the rest of the content I've got to offer. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.